This is a very comprehensive book on Shitoryu Karate. Hi guys, my name is Joe and my channel is Fighting Words, the Martial Arts Library. And on this channel I review martial arts books and I talk about other martial arts related subjects. The subject of today's review is Dynamic Shitoryu Karate by Alan Tanzade. I probably butchered that, but anyway, here it is. Tanzade? Yeah. Anyway, it was originally published in 2015. I have the second edition, which was published in 2018. So, the beginning of it has the biography of the author, plus, of course, your general acknowledgments. Then it goes into the history and development of Shitoryu Karate, focusing on Kinwa Mabuni, as well as Kane Mabuni, his son, and Monzo Iwata, who is the author's sensei and his lineage through there. It also includes a lot of testimonials about Mabuni, and also the crest, which is used as the Shitoryu crest. Once we get past the history and biography section, we get into the actual technical side of things, and we get an overview of the basics, and then we go more in depth on things like stances, kicks, strikes, the blocks, a little bit of footwork. And one thing in particular that I like about this book is it's very diligent about, okay, you need to be 45 degrees here, 90 degrees here, and, this far over here, and, your toe needs to be pointed at this, and it's this stance, and if it's like this, it's this other stance. So, he's very specific about, this is the form of this thing. It also goes over contact surfaces, including a floor plan for your stances, which I think is a nice touch. And of course, the different striking surfaces for your strikes. So get a vocabulary for anatomy in Japanese. So Hiza is knee, etc. And then we finish up with Rinzoku Kihon, which is just combinations, combinations of blocks and throwing strikes behind them. So it's showing you how to combine basics from one section with basics from another. So, again, as far as the basics go, they're done very thoroughly, and it does finish up with showing you how to blend those together, the different sections of it. So then we move on to the chapter on kata. And, the text relating to this is quite extensive. It talks about how the kata should be practiced, and, also talks about embusan, which is the pattern of movement. Like if you were to draw out, the steps that people take. And in front of each kata, it gives the overview of the kata, it gives you the translated name of the kata, and then it gives you what belt level it's usually taught at. Now, one thing to note about Shitoryu is it has an extensive kata vocabulary. So not everything is going to be shown in this book, although many, many, many things are. The founder, Kinwa Mabuni, or Mabuni Kinwa, was trying to collect the various kata as a means of preserving them. So, of the kata we get, including some that I had not heard of, we get the following. Shihozuki, which is the four-direction punch. Shihogyakuzuki, which is the four-direction reverse punch. Hiji Ate Goho, which is the 5 ways of elbow strike. Kihon Kata 1 and 2, Heian 1 through 5, Juroku, which is a specialty of shito-ryu, Matsumura ha Rohai, Basadai, Seiunshin, and Nipaipo. Now, all of these katas are, all these kata, the plural of kata is kata, all these kata are given pretty extensive detail. You know, we get to see a lot of movement being shown through the use of arrows. The photographs, again, I usually harp on black and white photographs, but here they're pretty crystal clear. They are excellent photographs. You know, we get the footwork patterns being shown. You know, the author is taking a lot of care to make sure that you understand the movements that are being performed. And that's what really sets this book apart from most of the other books that I have on forms. Finally, we get into the kumite section. We get Kihon kumite, and then we also get Hokei kumite. Kumite, crossing hands. It's often thought of as sparring. Kihon kumite, Kihon means basics. So, you know, you're performing the basics with a partner, or against a partner, perhaps. The Hokei kumite are based on the Heian kata, which are some very foundational kata from the Itosu lineage. So I didn't even know that such a thing existed. I'm glad that it got included in the book. Now, it ends with appendices, and one of the first ones is on the kata that didn't get included. And we get a photograph from each kata and just, you know, just the name. You know, here's a picture, it's from this kata, right? It does have a section that briefly lists the lineage of the various kata. Motobu was a guy who trained with as many masters as he could. He was very much about the preservation of karate. And in fact, I think in the Shitoryu curriculum there are like multiple versions of the same kata, like Basai, for example. I think there's like 3 or 4 different versions of that just in the system. So, you know, the inclusion of this lineage chart is a good touch for the nature of this particular form of karate. As well, we get a list of neuromuscular terms, this time in English. So this bone is called this thing, this muscle is called that thing. And we also get a glossary of Japanese anatomical terms. And also some pictures of the author at competition. As far as the prose go, as I mentioned before, the pictures are like crystal clear, which is excellent for a book of this sort. The illustrations of the movements, again, showing, you know, a dotted line for this is moving over here. I think that that's excellent. Having, you know, the footwork being shown, you know, throughout the kata is like, okay, make sure you're stepping this foot first and then that foot. You know, all that's very excellent. It uses Japanese terms throughout so a student can sort of familiarize themselves with it. And it does include principles interspersed throughout the work, which is a nice touch. As far as cons go, I don't really have a lot. Honestly, the biggest thing that stood out to me was that the application of the kata is basically, you know, karate versus karate. So, you know, guys are going to throw like a lunge punch at you, which is not what you would find in a self-defense scenario, but there we go. As far as recommendations go, if you are a student of Shitoryu, I would strongly recommend this, especially if you are a beginner to intermediate level student. If you are a practitioner of karate and you want to understand, the style of Shitoryu, how their techniques might vary from, you know, the way you perform your kata, which is sort of the reason I got it. I got a thing for like comparative karate kata study. So I found that very valuable, and again, a lot of the principles included throughout. I think any karate practitioner would benefit from them. I think, I don't know. I can only base things on my experience. I think by the time you are like at a certain level in karate, if you just love consuming information about karate, you've probably encountered many of these principles, but it's still a good reference to have. So yeah, like if you are a karate practitioner, I would say this is a very good book for you to have in your library. But that's all I got for this week, guys, and man, I sure gushed over that. But yeah, it is a very well put together book. It does what it sets out to do incredibly well. And yeah, I like it. And I'll see you guys next week. Thanks for watching.